So what happens is we create a tapestry. And this tapestry creates a new behavior. The more tapestries of consciousness we become aware of, and we keep reintroducing, it's like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, di, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, di. After a while, you just like chanting, you automatically, it's how I go into trance. Meditation isn't about just the seating, as I talked about earlier before. Meditation is about setting an intent. So we haven't talked about that yet. If I have no purpose for meditation, then I have an empty bucket, and my mind will wander everywhere. So, if I sit down and seat myself for meditation, and the intent and the purpose of my meditation doesn't exist, I have an ordinary experience. Because the brain needs to have a purpose, and that sounds very strange. If my purpose is to see and experience the reflection of the inner self, if my intent is to experience silence, to experience that grace, and I put that intent out, with other words, if you don't know where you're driving, will the car actually go anywhere? Will you just go in circles? So, a part of the center of the hypothalamus, which is the center computer, you could say, of the entire brain. So we have all these neural pathways that associate with other neural pathways. So meditation is about grace. It's about becoming aware of all these subtle tapestries of consciousness. It creates, so it's like saying love equals intimacy, or love equals being abandoned, or being hurt and not being understood. So these neural pathways all find similar pathways, weave themselves together and say, aha, you all have something in common. Sense is center. So when we talked about the brain and all the lobes, all these things collectively come together to create these neural pathways, and they collectively all send messages to say, hey, do you belong with me? Hey, do you belong a part of my group? And so that's how these neural pathways come together. They then send a signal to the center of the brain, and the hypothalamus sends this chemical reaction. Well, the hypothalamus is also there to create liberation. So when you watch movies, there's a great movie called What the Bleep and all these movies. These are really great, but they don't really talk about, can we actually liberate? Can we actually reposition ourselves, recreate the fabric of grace, moments of awareness, moments of gratitude, moments of respect, moments of entering into our seat where we sit and meditate? And can we have a purpose? Because if I don't have a purpose, where am I going?